The Aurora Police Department is currently under a consent decree meant to help improve its use of force policies. 9 News reporter Rachel Krause joins us after talking with the Independent Monitor about this case and where APD stands now. Rachel, what'd you learn?
Yeah, it was 7 years ago that Elijah McLean, an unarmed black man, was stopped on the way home from a convenience store and deemed suspicious. McLean was placed in a cardioid hold, cutting off oxygen, handcuffed, and given ketamine. He later died. Now, following public outrage after McLean's death, the city and police department were put under a consent decree to improve how they police people of color. It's a goal that's given a critical eye after deaths at the hands of police like Rajon Belt Stubblefield last August.
After nearly a year of waiting to see how the wheels of justice would turn.
Today was a long time coming.
The grand jury's indictment of Officer Matthew Neely and her husband, Rajon Belt Stubblefield's death, is a relief for Tondra Blankson.
And I just burst into tears. All I could do was just cry.
It's not the first time a person's death at the hands of an Aurora police officer has sparked outrage. But an officer being criminally charged is more unusual.
It's really sad that any amount of accountability, any teeny tiny bit that we can get, it's just hallelujah.
And for years, there's been renewed attention on how Aurora polices the community following Elijah McLean's death at the hands of APD officers and Aurora Fire Rescue paramedics in 2019. An investigation by the Attorney General led to a consent decree for the city and APD in 2022 to improve how Aurora officers use force and interact with people of color.
Most notably, use of force. Biased policing, that is, they needed to eliminate any bias that was present in their police practices.
Jeff Schlanger, Aurora's independent consent decree monitor, says over the years, the city and police have made strides to change, improving policies and training to make the department more accountable and transparent. But he's raised concerns too. After officers shot and killed Kylan Lewis, an unarmed black man, in 2024, Schlanger's questions led to policy limits on when SWAT is called out. And just this May, he called for a broader review of critical incidents where people are in mental health crisis after 3 people were killed by officers.
But we asked that the city go further and convene a task force, if you will, relative to determining whether or not the behavioral health system in Aurora is operating as well as it possibly can.
Schlanger says use of force can and does happen, but how the department responds and investigates after matters.
It's always a work in progress.
Now, the consent decree is supposed to end in February of next year. Schlanger says the city and the police are not ready for that. They won't have met all of the mandates of the consent decree, so they'll have to continue until those are met and they can show that they can remain in compliance after. Now, what that looks like after the 5-year mark will be a decision between him, the city, and the AG. Rachel Krause, 9 News.